For BT, London, John, Amy, and Mikey. I'm Adam.
Mike.
See you next week. That is the pregame show. Enjoy the bowling.
CBS Sports, your home for the NFL and Thursday Night Football, SEC football, and the Masters, the PGA Championship and PGA Tour, March Madness, and the CBS Sports family of networks. And your home for Super Bowl 50. CBS Sports. Expect it here.
For over 30 years, they have battled, winning an amazing 68 titles and 17 majors between them. Today, Pete Weber and Norm Duke are part of a stellar field at the 2015 Bullmore AMF US Open, and it begins now. Welcome to Garland, Texas, everyone, and AMF Garland. Historic downtown, plenty to do here, but no better place in Garland than to be right here for the 2015 Bullmore AMF US Open. An amazing field gathering for a major championship. Hello again, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're a bowling broadcaster, this is where you want to be. This is the item you can't believe you get an opportunity to call 5 incredible bowlers for a major championship and a chance at bowling history today. Let's take a look at the stepladder format. Ryan Simonelli, the left-hander, is number 1. Look at the guys behind him. Pete Weber trying to break the all-time major championship record, and Norm Duke, 7 major titles in third. And the opening match is a stellar one, too. Dom Barrett and Wes Malott, who's the defending champion. And with me today is somebody who understands what winning a U.S. Open is like. In 1981, he was so far ahead, he didn't even get mad. He missed his shot. He defeated Mark Roth in 81. And then 4 years later, he defeats Wayne Webb for his second U.S. Open championship. I am delighted to be joined by the Hall of Famer, Marshall Holman. And Marshall, you know, these guys know, some of them over here understand, but what it's like to win the U.S. Open.
Dave, it's unbelievable. It's, you know, we get this opportunity to win a major tournament once every year at the U.S. Open. These guys know that this might be their last chance. It's such a big event. They're concentrating, they're keyed in, and especially, you know, with Pete and Norm, this is really big.
Yeah, 2 players in their 50s, and Pete trying to go for that elusive 11th major. He'll break Earl Anthony's record if he does it, and there's a chance these two will face off.
That's a real good chance, and they're both players who have reinvented themselves over the decades. Both Pete and Norm. This is a very, very good rivalry. They've been close back and forth, and now with a chance to win the U.S. Open, they know this is their day.
Of course, we cannot overlook our opening match. How do you see that one with Barrett and Malott?
Well, Malott is trying to be a back-to-back U.S. Open champion. Hasn't been done since Dave Husted did it back in '95 and '96. And for Barrett, you know, he's a world-class player. I don't think the moment is going to be overwhelming.
Now, we have one player we haven't talked to yet. That's because he's with Carolyn Doran Ballard. Our top seed, Ryan Simonelli.
I am here with Ryan, who had an absolutely stellar week here in Garland, and that led you to the top 5. Now, this is your 5th opportunity to win a major championship. What are you taking from your past experiences to help you win that title today?
Yeah, any live TV, especially in majors, I've learned to just stay in the moment, trust the process, and you know, sometimes easier said than done, but that's what we're going to focus on today.
Well, again, absolutely fantastic week. I wish you the best of luck. Back to you, Dave.
All right, Carolyn and Ryan, thank you very much. And Ryan's going to have to sit and wait. And you've won from that position before this tournament, Marshall, in that number 1 seed.
I have. Back in 1985 in Venice, Florida, I watched as Wayne Webb won 3 games before he got to bowl me, and then fortunate enough to be able to get the job done. But it's a tough task for the tournament leader waiting for hour and a half before he bowls.
But not the case for Dom Barrett and Wes Malott. And here's Barrett from Colchester, England. 4 titles. Looking to become just the 2nd foreign-born player to win the U.S. Open, and he would be the first from England. And a ringer to start.
And we saw a lot of 10 pins this week from the right-handers. Just very difficult to get your ball to enter the pocket in the proper manner with the speed and trajectory to knock all 10 down. But just important. He made a good solid shot in the first frame, make the spare, and settle into the match.
So many times major championships in this sport are decided by fewest mistakes.
That's absolutely right.
And there won't be one here. So let's take a look at our future for the sport lane pattern. Marshall, what are we bowling on today?
Oh, we're bowling on a pattern with a lot of oil in the center of the lane. It's 43 feet long. The right-handers are going to be playing from the outside trajectory, moving in, and then chasing that in as the day goes on. The left-hander, Ryan Simonelli, he's going to be right up this edge, coming deep into the pocket.
So our first look at Wes Malott. A lot of rip rate on that shot. And the Texan starts off with a strike.
Well, we'll get a good look at the classic form of Wes Malott. So much power at the bottom of the swing, and he does it so effortlessly. That ball started out around the 6 board, traveled out to around the 2, and just came back flush. It'll be very interesting to see if he can get off to a quick double.
10 titles, 2013 U.S. Open, his major. Defeated Marshall Kent, Pete Weber, and Jason Belmonte, and only the Marshall Kent match was close.
That was inside his target. Lucky just to get the 4-pin.
You could hear him groan a little bit as soon as he threw it.
We'll take a look at the pinfall. Really fortunate just to leave the 4-pin, because that was probably 4 boards left of his target.
He'll attack that pin.
There he goes hard and straight with a much less volatile bowling ball. And you can hear all of our players today are mic'd up, so you can hear them sort of give themselves self-talk. And Wes was berating himself a little bit for that shot.
The ball came out.
So let's take a look at some keys to victory for both Dom and Wes.
Well, for Dom, he was telling me that he was bringing out like a dozen balls at the start of every round, and so it's trying to get matched up with that equipment, get the right ball in his hand, get matched up for the carry. As far as Wes Malott is concerned, keep the feet slow. That gets him in better timing.
And no break on lane 52. Opening with a, should say the second frame with an open frame.
Well, that was a terrible break. The ball came in light, and by all fairness, he should have left maybe just the 4-pin. Leaves the 4 and the 10. A very, very strange leave.
But after it, and an open frame in number 2 for Dom Barrett. The winner of this match will take on Norm Duke. The number 3 seed, Pete Weber, number 2, and Ryan Simonelli, the left-hander, the only lefty on our show today, number 1.
Please, Dominic.
That'll get there.
Well, that was a beautiful recovery, and that's another thing you do when you win major championships. You recover quickly from your mistakes, and Barrett did just that.
Well, Barrett's got a lot of experience, not just in this country, but worldwide. He comes right back with a great shot. Look at that high backswing, going straight up around the 4 board. No problem with the 10-pin there.
But Malott with the early lead.
Nobody puts more on the ball, more revolution on the ball with what seemingly looks like very little effort.
Nearly the 7-pin. Malott qualified after 32 games in 8th place. His match play record, he won 13 of 24. His match play average, almost 226.
Once again, switching to his spare ball.
Okay, come on.
Well, you think about the names that he is trying to join as back-to-back U.S. Open champions. I'll give you that in a moment as he attacks the 7-pin. Andy Varipapa, Don Carter, Dick Weber, and Dave Houston. Let's take a look at Wes's form here, Marshall.
All right, well, Wes starts with the ball pretty much in the center of his body. He's kind of messing with that thumb a little bit, getting a good feel. Look how high the backswing is. Very high backswing. Then as he drives down through the ball, he snaps very hard at the bottom. But he's such a big man, he can do it with hardly any effort at all.
Yeah, by far the most physically imposing of our 5 players today.
That's better.
It is better. You're absolutely right. The 9-pin was a little reluctant, but it fell too.
Not just a great bowler, but a heck of a color commentator as well.
You know, he's doing our jobs for us, which we like.
You bet. Watch this ball go through the pins. You mentioned the 9-pin. The ball did not touch the 9-pin. I believe it was the 3-pin that just knocked into it.
All of these players with extensive television experience. No one out here who doesn't understand the allure of the lights and the distractions that sometimes that can cause.
Chance to cut into the lead.
It's got to push, and it does. And a double for Barrett. And we take a look now at the Englishman.
All right, Dom Barrett. Just a nice, easy push away. Another high backswing. That's out of frame. It's so high. And he's got a very smooth snap at the bottom of the swing.
Yeah, you've got to have a pretty big screen TV to catch the top of that backswing. He's banged in 3 straight all of a sudden after that open.
Yeah, and the ball that he threw the open on was really a good shot. It was just it was a very quirky break. It's very rare you see a shaker that leaves the 4 and the 10 pin.
So Wes Malott has had some other close calls in major championships. PBA World Championship last year, lost to Mike Fagan. Lost in the Barbasol PBA Tournament of Champions by a pin to Jason Belmonte. Ooh, look out. And he's not going to get a break on that 10 pin there, so he has made his first mistake of the match.
Yeah, the ball was wide off his hand. There's so much oil down the lane. You'll see this ball get all the way out in that zone, and it's just not enough friction for the ball to get back. It comes in late into the pocket. 2-4-10. Makeable split.
Going to chase it. Going to make it.
Very makeable. What a shot. What a shot from Wes Malott. He did exactly what he had to do. He got the ball left of that 2-pin, sent it right into the 10, textbook. And not only does it save pins, but it saves momentum as well.
I was going to ask you from Barrett's perspective, if he sees that, he must have think, okay, I've hit 3 in a row. Now he's made a mistake. How does that affect you?
Well, I think you have to anticipate your opposition making that split. It looked more difficult than it was, but
and a class adjustment that time made by Wes Malott.
Yeah, he cannot allow the ball to get that far to the right.
Now we've got a fantastic opening match with Barrett on 3 in a row. Wes Malott making a split into a spare and then blowing 10 straight back. This is just the first on the stepladder finals today.
Hoop season tips off at one of the nation's most historic sites. First, the #1 team in the nation, the top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels, take on Temple. And in the nightcap, host Navy takes aim at the Gators. The Veterans Classic at the U.S. Naval Academy. Friday at 7 on CBS Sports Network.
For competitors of all ages, bowling is for life. And USBC is with you every step of the way. USBC and you, a future for the sport.
Technicians needed. The transportation industry is growing. If you're good with your hands and want to work on the world's best brands, your training starts here at Universal Technical Institute.
We only hire UTI graduates. That is our preferred method of hiring.
In fact, 4 out of 5 UTI grads get jobs.
I like my job because I love the new technology and learning every single day on the job with all the master technicians.
Your new career starts your first day at UTI. Are you ready? Call now.
With Pizza Hut's $6.99 any deal, I can get a meat lovers and they can get all the fresh vegetables they want. No more compromise.
Bring home the flavor with America's no compromise pizza deal. Get any 2 medium pizzas with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
Need to hire fast? Go to ZipRecruiter.com and post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Then simply select the best candidates from one easy-to-review list. And now you can use ZipRecruiter for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com.
How do you breakfast? Just coffee? Donut? Now there's a better way. The Hamilton Beach Breakfast Sandwich Maker. Choose your bread, add toppings, and an egg. In just 5 minutes, breakfast is ready. It's quick, easy, and delicious. Now wrap up the delicious with the new Breakfast Burrito Maker. Go to HamiltonBeach.com for a limited time $5 rebate when you buy a breakfast sandwich or burrito maker in-store or online. Hamilton Beach. Good thinking.
We live in a pick-and-choose world. Love or like, naughty or nice, calm or bright. But at bedtime, why settle for this? Enter Sleep Number. Don't miss the semi-annual sale going on now. Sleep IQ technology tells you how you slept and what adjustments you can make. She likes the bed soft. He's more hardcore. So your sleep goes from good to great to wow. Gift the best sleep only at a Sleep Number store. Save $500 on the Veterans Day Special Edition mattress with Sleep IQ technology plus 36-month special financing. Hurry, ends Wednesday. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
The 2015 Bowmore AMF US Open is brought to you by Bowmore AMF, the future of bowling. Visit an AMF, Bolero, Brunswick Zone XL, or Bowmore location near you for the very best in bowling fun. Go to bowmoreamf.com for more information. And by the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. And by BPAA, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. And we take a look at our friend Chad Murphy, Executive Director of the U.S. Bowling Congress. That golf course looked nice, but this is the place to be today. Indoor sports. The Bowmore AMF U.S. Open Championship here in Garland, Texas, just outside of DFW. Dom Barrett, Wes Malott in the first of our stepladder finals. And Barrett is working 3 in a row.
Chance to take that lead from 7 up to 17. Dom going a lot more direct down the lane.
Well, I don't know why he said uh-oh, because he got a kick on the 10. And let's get a quick update from Carolyn Doran-Ballard.
It's very unique what these bowlers are doing. In speaking with the Storm Rotogrip ball reps Del Ballard, Tim Mack, and Jim Callahan, once Dom split, he went back to a stronger ball of crux on that right lane. Ironically, he has the left lane tighter. Wes Malott has the right lane tighter. But what's the similarity? Both bowlers are trying to be as straight through the fronts as possible to keep the ball in play.
Well, that's it for Dom. That strategy's working.
And Dom's doing a better job of it.
5 straight.
Boy, he really let that split in the second frame get to him, didn't he?
Yes, it certainly affected his mental game.
Well, this is the big shot right here for Malott. He's struggled on this lane. He needs to make sure he stays slow so the ball does not accelerate too far to the right.
You had a talk also with Del Ballard about Malott on this lane. What was that about?
Well, that was about exactly what I was just mentioning about the fact that Del was saying he needs to keep himself slower because he knows if he gets too fast, the ball's going to squirt to the right and it will not recover.
Excellent adjustments.
Well, these guys just impressed the heck out of me. That's a great shot on a lane that was giving him nothing but trouble and very much necessary. You can see he gets the line slower. He gets better leverage on the ball. The ball never does get all the way out to the one board. It gets to about the 3 or 4, and then it's able to accelerate back into the pocket.
And Malott had a 300 this week.
As we get into the 8th frame, another very important shot from Malott. Can cut that lead back down to 7, put the pressure right back on Barrett.
And he didn't get a break on the 4-pin.
Damn, that was good.
Yeah.
He liked it.
Was it good?
Yeah. Well, he liked it. The bowler knows. Bowler knows better than anybody when he lets the ball go, whether or not he thinks it's a good shot. That may be just a little bit of the lanes breaking down. The ball was in the pocket last time from that trajectory. This time, just enough high to leave the floor.
Problem is right now with the way Barrett's going, even the slightest opening, he's going to drive through it.
Right now, Wes is he's going to need a little bit of help from Dom Barrett in the fashion of Barrett not striking. Taking a re-rack, did not like the look of the pins. Generally, the right-handers look at the 1 and the 3 pin as being either too close together or too far apart, and that's what they key on to know whether or not to re-rack. And
he didn't look very happy about that one either. Yeah, you could hear a little sigh. We show everybody our Bullmore AMF US Open format. We're down to 5 out of 275, and I wanted you pointed out something. We'll talk after Barrett's shot about the format and the way these lanes were treated, and he'll mix them up for 6 straight. This was not the traditional, we're going to bowl, we're going to run the lanes, come up on the fresh. This was a different way of doing things.
This was US Open old school, something I can definitely relate to. They oiled the lanes in the morning, and they bowled on them. Then they came back and they did not re-oil. They bowled on them, so they were bowling on fresh in the morning, and then more and more burnt out conditions as the day progressed.
So Barrett working a 6-bagger. He went spare, open, and he hasn't missed since.
This could lock it up. Fortunate, just leaves the 4-pin. And his ball went, last 2 lanes, last 2 shots, his ball went a lot longer down the lane before breaking in. You can see this ball, it should start making the break around here, but it just never catches. It never catches to the pin, to the lane in order to get high enough. But fortunate, he strikes on 52 with a light hit and just leaves the 4-pin on 51. So a little bit of help for Wes Malott, but Wes has better put on his striking shoes right now.
Now Barrett can go 245. So Malott has 0 margin for error. Max at 228. Oh my heavens.
Solid 9.
Ridiculous.
Well, that's.
What do you got to say about that one? It's not a 10-pin, I know, but.
This is part of modern bowling. I mean, the balls are so strong, absolutely no respect for the pins, drives right by the 9-pin. And all Wes can say to himself is, you know, I made a good shot. I did exactly what I tried to do, and I just got it's like a rub of the green. Well, Wes can strike out for 217, and Dom Barrett has this match well in hand.
Well, he pounced 10 straight back on that one. Perhaps a little frustration on that roll as well.
Yeah, and for the bowlers coming up, Dom Barrett is not going to break the lanes down as quickly with his lower rev rate than what Wes would do. So Wes is going to move the oil around a lot more. So it might make it a little more scoreable for the bowlers coming up on the right-hand side.
And the next one coming up will be Norm Duke. And if there's a lane condition he hasn't seen, I'd like to know what it is.
Yeah, he's been on tour for a long time. Well, if Wes strikes here on the fill ball, he'll force Dom Barrett to get just 7 pins on his first ball in order to lock it up, and that's not a big task.
Not the way he's throwing it. He did get a delayed reaction on that 9-pin again. So, barring a terrible break for Barrett, Wes Malott's run as U.S. Open champion has come to an end. He won it in 2013. And just making the show here, the Bullmore AMF U.S. Open, is tremendous accomplishment to leave behind 270 other bowlers to join this final 5.
You can see Barrett going right down the middle, not taking any chance.
And there's his 7.
There's the 7. Now there's a shot you don't see the pros leave very often.
In that rack.
The 5, 8, 10, but that was just hard and straight and all defense.
You suck, man. The way that red comes down is easy to get 4 in there. Sorry.
I think what Wes is saying is,
yeah, against me.
Why don't you just man up and throw a strike shot there, Barrett?
Oh, that was funny.
And he's just getting back in the strike zone, not even trying to make it, just throwing his ball to where the strikes are.
Finish it. Come on.
Dom Barrett has advanced 221 to 217 over Wes Malott. Now, there he is, already in your picture. The veteran, Norm Duke, a crowd favorite. There'll be lots of chance of Duke during the upcoming match. Meantime, Dom Barrett had a great look, recovered from a split in the second frame, and he is moving on in Garland of the Bowlmore AMF US Open.
When you don't think of them as dummies, something amazing happens. The first luxury brand awarded top safety ratings across its entire model line, Acura.
I got a mortgage offer from the bank today.
What? You never just get one offer. Go to LendingTree.com and shop multiple loan offers for free.
Free?
Yeah, could save thousands. You should probably buy me dinner. Papa's eating steak tonight.
No.
At LendingTree, shop and compare loan offers from top lenders, and in just 5 minutes, you could save thousands. LendingTree, the place to shop for money.
I love date night.
Yeah. Wow.
Somebody's ruining it.
Yeah. Well, you could leave if you wanted to.
World's #1 bowler, Jason Belmonte, here to show you how bowling crushes any other Saturday night date. Stuffy French restaurant. Crushes it!
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
The chase for the Pro 2 Championship is far from over. Bryce Menzies clinched his 6th win of the season, but Rob McCachran's streak of 5 podiums has him leading the standings by 27 points. The drivers of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series have arrived at the fastest track on the circuit, and the slightest mistake could be season-ending.
Big run and they have contact, a huge wreck.
Catch round 14 tonight on CBS Sports Network.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, you know? My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
It's Dom Barrett moving on, defeating the defending champion Wes Malott in the first match of our stepladder finals here at the Bowlmore AMF US Open. You've seen Jason Belmonte on the lanes and now off them, shooting a commercial for Bowlmore AMF. But how was his experience as a commercial star?
We have a restaurant scene trick, which is really, really special, I think. It's probably the prettiest scene of them all, which means it's also potentially makes the most mess. So we have a lot of glass on the lane. The beginning of the trick starts off with some champagne glasses or wine glasses and some vases that I've got to bowl through. Meanwhile, at the exact same time as I'm letting it go, we have an accordion player playing the accordion just off to the left. I have to go under a table, which then comes crashing down. I have to miss a waiter's foot and also miss the 2 people that are, you know, sitting down for dinner. I then have to go through all of that, go through an Arc de Triomphe that fits about I think it's 2 inches on either side of the ball, so the gap is incredibly narrow. Go through that, get the strike. And then, of course, the Arc de Triomphe has my personal favorite, 2 Aussie flags that pop out at the end. So, you know, if you're from France, I'm sorry, it was just a joke. Meanwhile, turn around and the chandeliers fall in, there's crashes of plates and glasses, it's a mess.
And we welcome you back. Thanks, Belmo, for that entertainment. This is AMF Garland Lanes, opened in 1989. You know it then as Showplace Lanes. AMF picked it up in 1998. It's been redone recently, and we've had a lot of big tournaments here, including D.D. Davidson's 1993 Women's U.S. Open Championship. They have been fabulous hosts. And you know, they're rewarded for their hospitality with an amazing stepladder final. And next up, it will be Dom Barrett against this veteran right there, Norm Duke, 7-time major champion, 38-time tour champion. Get ready for match number 2.
Needed. If you're good with your hands and looking for a great career, get started here. Universal Technical Institute. UTI gives you real-world, hands-on training.
It was just a dream for me. Within 18 months, it was a reality.
It gave me a foot in the door that most people don't have.
UTI partners with the world's top manufacturers who need our professionally trained techs working in their shops.
It's the next level of technician.
They are the best of the best.
Your new career starts your first day at UTI. Call now.
Just steady, Betty.
Steady, Betty. Never quit it.
You fired up?
Am I the only one with a meeting?
I've got to.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Carol, thank you so much. I gotta say it, man. This is a nice setup.
Too soon. Just kidding.
Nissan Sentra, J.D. Power's highest-ranked compact car and initial quality.
We needed 30 new hires for our call center.
I'm spending too much time hiring and not enough time in my kitchen.
Need to hire fast? Go to ZipRecruiter.com and post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Then simply select the best candidates from one easy-to-review list.
You put up one post, and the next day you have all these candidates.
Makes my job a lot easier.
Over 400,000 businesses have already used ZipRecruiter, and now you can use ZipRecruiter for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/offer17.
From the very minute you have this idea that you want to be in business, you need to have that card.
Presentation is everything because they're not only first impression of you, but now you're handing them this product that really is kind of going to define your business in their mind pretty quickly.
You want a very thick card that feels nice in your client's hand.
I think it's nice to have a choice because sometimes you want a glossy card, but for other projects, I don't necessarily want all that.
Your business card is a reflection of you. It should say exactly what you want. With a range of design, stock, and finish options at Vistaprint, it will. Get 500 business cards starting at just $9.99. Just enter promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
That business card, when I make a connection with someone, has to be phenomenal. It has to be elegant and invoke all the things that Diamond stands for.
Just that professionalism is going to make you, as a business owner, more successful just right off the bat.
Vistaprint.com.
Standing here with Norm Duke. Norm?
And we are getting ready for match number 2 here in Garland, Texas at AMF Garland Lanes, the Bullmore AMF U.S. Open. In this match, it'll be Dom Barrett who defeated Wes Malott as you take a look there at the all-important lane machine. And we also have somebody else pretty important standing by with Norm Duke is Carolyn Doran Ballard. Carolyn.
Yes, Norm, phenomenal week here on the lanes in Garland. Okay, I want you to tell everybody, you have the opportunity to win your 3rd U.S. Open. But one of the things I noticed during the week is your patience level. No high, no low. Are you taking that factor from this week into this match?
Boy, I just cannot see how I can't go from way high to way low. But the fact that you mentioned that, I'm thinking, what have you been looking at? I've been a nervous wreck. Yeah, I know what's at stake, but I've been here before, and I hope I can draw on that experience, really.
He's awesome. I watched him all week, and like I said, Norm, you really no high, no low. You're just even keeled. You're a thoroughbred, my friend. Good luck. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you, CDB. By the way, the no high, no low will not be in effect in our next match when Pete Weber arrives. However, with Norm Duke and Dom Barrett, that may well be the case.
Very, very good professionals. Norm has been He's been at this, since the early 80s. It's incredible the way that he's kept himself in physical shape and the way that he's adapted to the new equipment and the way the lanes play. Dom Barrett will be up first.
So Barrett, 221 in the first game, defeating the defending champion Wes Malott. The winner of this match will take on Pete Weber. And then Ryan Simonelli is the #1 seed, the only lefty in this stepladder final today.
The ball's going longer and longer. His last 2 shots of the previous game came in light. And now he comes in light again. Oil's being pushed down. Fortunate that the 8-pin fell. At least it gives him an opportunity at a makeable split.
Well, we've already seen a 2-4-10 converted and did not get it. So he survived an open frame in the first game. In the second frame, he was hit with a split.
Okay. It's a shame.
Norm Duke's first major championship, 1993. His last, 2011. He has won majors in 3 decades.
33 years as a pro. His ball 2 comes in light.
And he leaves the 2-8.
Well, watch this ball. It's just going to labor. It's trying to grab. It just never, ever releases.
I think that's a perfect word for it, labor. It looked like it just, if the ball had a brain, it wants to do it, but the body wouldn't let it.
That's right. Not an easy spare. It's got a hook. It's got a hook. Just enough. We'll take a look at the ball just touching the 2 and having enough rev rate to get to the 8-pin.
A win for Norm would be his 8th major. He's already one of the immortals of the sport. 3rd U.S. Open, and that would put him in a tie for 4th with Dave Houston, behind Pete Weber, Dick Weber, and Don Carter. That came in beautifully, right on track.
I believe he just slowed his speed down just a little bit. The guys were talking about all week how there's so much oil in the center of the lane. They really had to be careful with their speed. If they got a little too fast, the ball would accelerate down the lane and wouldn't make it back up to the pocket. Great second shot from Norm Duke.
Somebody got up briefly in the audience over to Dom's right, and that distracted him for a moment. Didn't bother his swing, though, did it? Not at all a problem. We're even after 2. Actually, Barrett with a slight lead after 2. Mondays at 6 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Don't miss NFL Monday Quarterback, delivered by FedEx, as former pro quarterbacks break down all the Week 8 action from their unique perspective, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. It is actually Duke with the 11-pin advantage, not Barrett, who opened with a split.
And where Duke made the adjustment, slowing his speed down, get the ball to the pocket, Barrett just grabbed the holes more, turned it harder.
Oh, well, Messenger's not going to get there in time. Well, he showed the ability in the first game to recover from a mistake when he began a string of 6 straight strikes following his open frame in frame number 2.
And he makes a quality shot here. This ball just not quite going to get up the pocket. You'll see the 6-pin sit in the channel. It just doesn't bounce out. Leaves the 10. Fortunate to make the 10-pin. That's why they go with the ball with less friction. So it gives a little more room for error. He pulled that ball, but it hung in there.
So keys to victory for Norm Duke.
Well, he needs to, like it says right there, he really needs to manage his pace. He does not like to bowl very fast, but there's a shot clock in televised professional bowling, so he needs to bowl a little quicker, and he seems to be handling it just fine. He's got to stop. And that ball Look at that reaction. He knew when he threw that ball was going to go high, and then it didn't. That's a bowler's best friend.
So
the strike.
You mentioned Wes Malott and what he did to lanes. The fact that he only lasted one game. What kind of an effect does that have on this match?
Well, Wes Malott has a higher rev rate. He moves the oil around a lot more. So with Wes no longer on the show, it keeps the lanes from transitioning in an accelerated pace.
That 9-pin again. I don't know how many times a 9-pin is going to be a factor today, but it already has been. And this time it was defeated.
We'll take a look at another great shot. Watch the ball. It's going to go past the 9-pin. Just barely touches it. And you can see Duke's reaction very, very sedate.
He was right about it, and Carolyn was right in pointing it out. You see he's doing a little deep breathing there, trying to relax a little bit. And Dom Barrett has also been quiet. Letting his bowling do the talking.
Barrett with a strike on the right-hand lane. Needs to figure out lane 51. Don't let Duke get too far in front of him. 31-pin deficit right now.
So let's take a look at some of the other finishers. We mentioned 275 started. We're down to 4 now, with Wes Malott finishing in 5th. The two-hander, Anthony Simonson, put on a great performance. How about Amleto Monticelli, the Hall of Famer, in 7th? Marshall Kent, number 9. Walter Ray Williams Jr., number 11. One of the greatest ever. Tommy Jones, Sean Rash, Aaron Lawrence, Bill O'Neill. Francois Lavoie, the outstanding college bowler from Wichita State, came in and finished in the top 20. Danielle McEwen, the only woman to make the match play. She had an incredible summer on the PWBA Tour and carried that into Garland here as Barrett goes back-to-back.
Barrett fortunate to get this strike. This ball is going to come in light. Let the pins just scatter nicely. Take care of the 7-pin. Brings that lead down to 21.
However, Duke is working 3 in a row.
Look at that look of concentration. I mean, he is in the moment.
4 straight. Now, if that form looks familiar to you, Marshall, and I know it does, let's go back a little ways and show everybody that not much has really changed.
Well, in '94, he stood a little further back on the approach. But as we'll see, in today's version of Norm, it doesn't look too much different. Maybe the hair's a little shorter.
Oh,
that's okay. I can say that.
Yeah, you can. That's a good point. He still holds that distinction. In fact, Simonson had a chance, if he makes the show, to break that record.
Oh, he is comfortable right now.
Well, you pointed out something very interesting. Before we got the show started, he came out and just kind of scoped the place around. Didn't want any surprises. Wanted to know where everything was. Right now, he is in command of this match with Dom Barrett.
The personification of pride and passion.
It's such an exciting time of the year. If you're not all in, if you just want to put your toes in the water, you've got no chance.
We're bringing you more of the game you love with Inside College Football.
If they don't get it done this year, you're going to be in big trouble.
Tuesday at 9, only on CBS Sports Network.
When you don't think of them as dummies, something amazing happens. The first luxury brand awarded top safety ratings across its entire model line, Acura.
When you discover Babbel, you will take it everywhere. Because no matter what your day holds, Babbel allows you to learn on the go. Hola. With 14 languages to choose from and the convenience of anywhere, anytime, getting started is easy. Staying on track is even easier. Go to Babbel.com or download the app today. Discover a new language learning experience.
I'm really into this car, but how do I know if I'm getting a good deal?
TrueCar knows exactly how much people have been paying for the car I want. I tell TrueCar my zip and what car I'm into, and it shows me the TrueCar curve. This shows the range of prices people in my area actually paid for the same car. Looks like these folks paid a little more than everyone else. And this guy got the deal of a lifetime. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is TrueCar.
Each day, you're forced to choose a side. Now you can have both with any Flex Brew from Hamilton Beach. Easily brew single-serve packs like K-Cup packs or ground coffee. Just place or scoop, brew, and enjoy. Choose the Flex Brew that's right for you. With a two-way Flex Brew, you can brew a single cup or a whole pot. And customers love it. Enjoy maximum brewing flexibility and surprising affordability. Go to HamiltonBeach.com today for a limited time $5 rebate when you buy Flex Brew in-store or online. Hamilton Beach. Good thinking.
Let's say your team is traveling or your client's in another state and you need to connect face-to-face. Now's the time for GoToMeeting. Join a session from any device. One click is all it takes. Share your screen, demo a product, give a presentation. GoToMeeting with HD Faces. It's a great way to build relationships, ensure everyone's on the same page, get buy-in, and turn business ideas into actions faster. Try GoToMeeting free for 30 days at gotomeeting.com now.
College basketball season tips off with the #1 team in the nation, the North Carolina Tar Heels, taking on Temple Friday at 7 on CBS Sports Network.
And there is Norm Duke, who went through jumping exercises. Either he's a big fan of Mr. Roboto by Sticks, which was being played on the PA, but he's ready to go, and so is Wes Malott standing by with CDB.
Wes, great here at the U.S., great week at the U.S. Open. You made a run there at the end, 4 pins, stone 9. Tell us a little bit about what happened out there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate breaks kind of went my way there at the end of the game. I really wanted to try and strike out there in the 9th and 10th and put a little bit of pressure on Dom. But all in all, with coming into this week, my expectations weren't very high. I have not been performing very well lately. So, with the great help of your husband, Dell, and Jim Callahan and Tim Mack, at the practice session, we were able to kind of work through some of those kinks and get my feel back. And, with that being said, this week is absolutely might even be better. Well, I don't want to say better than winning the U.S. Open the last time, but still up there pretty high with how things came in this week.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at the World Series of Bowling. Back to you, Dave.
All right, Carolyn, thank you, and thank you, Wes. And Dom Barrett in a bit of a rabbit hole right now because of Norm Duke's brilliance. And Barrett, that's the only way he can fight his way out of it.
That's right. He's got to keep striking. He's got to put pressure on Duke. 31 pins down, can cut it to 21. But Duke looks so comfortable right now. But
he was working on a variety of ways to stay loose during that break.
Yeah, he was doing some exercise to keep that body warmed up during commercial break.
I've had so many bowlers, yourself included, tell me the hardest shot is the one coming out of the break because you've been resting and
absolutely it's tough to capture your feel again.
Yep, maybe a little distracted, but apparently not Dom Barrett. It comes flying out of the break with a double. So this is what we were talking about. This is Norm during that break.
Jack LaLanne. That's an old reference.
Yes,
sorry.
It is. Billy Blanks, Tony Horton, all these guys. Yeah, I get it though. But I got it. That's the worst part.
He's got to hurry. Fortunate.
Right.
Good God, all right.
He's upset with himself.
He must be. He called himself Norman.
He's made a terrible shot, but he got away with it. You'll see this ball is just going to be way too far to the right, and it never has a chance to capture, get up to pocket. The good news is it finishes so far to the right, it leaves a makeable spare. If it goes a little bit higher, he's going to leave the washout a bit a lot more difficult. That's got a hook.
He did. He has taken the wide approach every time he's been looking at that lane for that style of spare. He made a 2-8 with pretty much the same shot.
Well, right now, as I said earlier, how comfortable Duke looked. That shot there will make anybody uncomfortable. Now he's got to get himself back into the pocket. He knows what to do on this lane. Barrett's on a string of strikes, so this is far from over.
Nice recovery. That's such a experienced move to bounce back quickly like that. His lead had shrunk from 41 to 18.
Just a much better trajectory on this shot. The ball was left off his hand, not dead right like the previous one. Just holds on to pocket. 9-pin the last to fall. And a happy Norm Duke.
Well, that's as happy as he's showing us today. He has kept his emotions very much bottled up.
Well, he wants to make it to the end of this tournament, and then you'll see emotion.
Catch it, though. Come on.
There's a long way to go.
Get in.
And for just about an eye blink, there was a 7-10 there, and then it was gone, and the lead is now 8. The USBC provides numerous programs and services for bowlers in its efforts to build a future for the sport, including competitive leagues and tournaments for all ages, youth and collegiate bowling, and bowling instructional videos, coaching certification programs, and social interaction and event coverage. Just go to bowl.com for more. With Marshall Holman and Carolyn Doran Ballard, Dave Lamont, in other words, known as 2 Hall of Famers and that guy.
Well, this guy on lane 51 has a chance to take the lead after being down by quite a margin just a few frames.
Oof, and he is just mixing them up right now.
Boy, he's looked at adversity early in both games. Gotten right through it.
6 in a row for the second time today.
You can see the ball just revving, turning hard, coming in lights, exploding the pins, sending the 5-pin to the left and kicking out that 10. He keeps his emotions in check.
Yeah, Norm getting a little pumped up there.
Same lane he left the 1-2-8 on. He wasn't going to let that happen again.
Rack,
beautiful
please,
shot from Norm Duke. He knows right now this has got a great chance. Finishes it a little high. It'll take care of that 10-pin.
Yes, he did.
He was looking for a re-rack on the left lane, and it looks like this one is not. Looks like this one is going down to that final frame. Both have built a nice foundation, but there you see what Duke needs: a double and 3 to move on to face Pete Weber.
Now that's all you can ask for coming into the last frame of a game, is to have a chance to have it in your hands to be able to shut your opponent out. First things first. Needs to make a good shot here. Came in a little high, almost left the 9-pin last time in lane 51.
And he knew it again. Again, he started to trail right. He knew it.
He's getting excited. He's getting excited. Now he's pumping himself back down again. I still have work to do.
One more strike needed.
Great technique from Norm Duke. He knows how important this strike is, and he's going to show a little emotion here. And then immediately, let's check it down. We have more work to do.
But you heard him talk when he spoke with Carolyn. He knows what this means. He knows what's at stake here. He's been here before.
Give me a chance, man. Give me a chance.
Barrett unable to watch. Wait a minute. No, the messenger falls short.
Quality shot. Ball coming in just a little bit light. Leaves the 10-pin. We'll take a look at this. 10-pin is just not going to cooperate. 7 goes down. Almost messengered into the 10. Another good look at the pins.
And that breathing you hear is Norm Duke.
Oh, he's working hard.
Thought I had it, he said. Hang on.
Well, immaterial. Great game from Norm Duke. Barrett will need 2 strikes in the 10th frame to advance.
And he's on a run of 7 of 8 and 6 consecutive.
Nice.
And if Barrett does get a couple of strikes, Norm will be replaying that second shot in the 10th for weeks. So much pressure. Got to get the speed right. Got to get the leverage right.
Got to get your mind right as well.
Yeah.
This is the longest I've seen so far in the first match and now this match that Barrett has taken to throw a shot.
Oh yeah, taking extra time.
That's a no-doubter, too.
Beautiful shot. Great shot from Barrett. Watch the 6-pin just kick out that 10. If I'm Norm Duke right now, I'm not liking my chances. The advantage goes to Barrett.
Looks like Norm's going to watch this. A lot of bowlers do not do that.
It means so much to both of them.
Dom has won major, the PBA World Championship. Duke, 7. The next guy up, 10. Pete Weber.
And for Duke at 51 years of age, will he ever get back to this position again? That's a question mark.
Has to have it. Got it.
Wow.
Now, much like the last match, he needs 7. Will he take that same casual approach he took when he defeated Wes Milan?
Yeah, I think he probably will.
That one.
So, in other words, you think he's just going to gun it down the middle?
Watch the 10-pin. Is it's the last one just to get nudged over by the 6. That could have really easily gone either way. Great break for Barrett.
Come on.
And a tough beat for Hall of Famer Norm Duke.
7 to win.
I throw it hard and straight.
He's going to throw the strike ball. There's your 7 and 3 more. What a finish for Dom Barrett.
God, Dom got to give you this bowl, man. That was just an awesome.
The 11th one was bad.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I had a couple more bad too. That was the finish right there.
9 straight strikes to finish for Dom Barrett. What a finish. 259 to 255. Norm Duke rolls 255 and he's out. Unbelievable. Standing ovation from everybody here at Garland, and why not? That was an absolutely brilliant match. Hard-pressed to find a better one, but you know what? Let's hope we find out. The next 2 matches. Dom Barrett will now take on Pete Weber. Match number 3.
We live in a pick-and-choose world. Love or like, naughty or nice, calm or bright. But at bedtime, why settle for this? Enter Sleep Number. Don't miss the semi-annual sale going on now. Sleep IQ technology tells you how you slept and what adjustments you can make. She likes the bed soft. He's more hardcore. So your sleep goes from good to great to wow. Gift the best sleep only at a Sleep Number store. Save $500 on the Veterans Day Special Edition mattress with Sleep IQ technology plus 36-month special financing. Hurry, ends Wednesday. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Larry Culpepper, member of the college football playoff. I know who you are.
This is Marcus Allen, football royalty.
Could you do me a favor and keep it down? Yeah, and I apologize that I didn't come up with the playoff system that I invented when you were in college. You invented it? Yeah, I did. All right. I wanted to call it the Marcus Allen playoff, but they... now you got something. They thought that would be too confusing. Are you supposed to be working or something? You know, if I had a nickel for every time someone said that to me...
Let's go, Dr. Pepper, yeah?
Wix makes it easy for me to create a beautiful website. I can add my own images and drag and drop them into place. Even add a video background. It's that simple. Create your stunning website today. Go to Wix.com. It's easy and free.
Hey, searching for a great used car? You got it. Just say, show me millions of used cars for sale at the all-new Carfax.com, where now you can search with the power of Carfax. Just say, show me cars with no accidents reported. Boom. Or how about, show me cars with only one owner? Pretty cool. Plus, we're the only site where you get a free Carfax report with every car listed. So find the cars you want, avoid the ones you don't. Start your used car search at Carfax.com.
While we may never know exactly what the weather has in store, one thing we do know is how to be ready for it. Rain-X wiper blades clear the windshield of rain, sleet, and snow without streaking, giving you the confidence to weather any kind of weather. Rain-X Premium Wiper Blades. Available at these fine retailers.
Need to hire fast? Go to ZipRecruiter.com and post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Then simply select the best candidates from one easy-to-review list. And now you can use ZipRecruiter for free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com.
World's #1 bowler, Jason Belmonte, here to show you how bowling crushes it on a Saturday night. Crowded bar.
What a spectacular match that was with Dom Barrett and Norm Duke. And Barrett punching out from the 4th straight through. And that's what he had to do. He almost had no choice because Duke was also so fantastic. Just one ball that got away from him in the 7th frame made all the difference in the world. Well, we have talked about the quiet approach. That's going to change shortly. You've just seen Jason Belmonte destroy the crowded bar, and just before in a French restaurant. But how hard was it to shoot this spot?
So for the bar scene, a really difficult shot. My bowling ball has to hit objects, so it can potentially leave its path at any moment. First thing I had to do, if we start the trick from beginning to end, was I went through 3 bar stools with 3 people sitting on each bar stool. I then had to go through a tower of pitches that I'd have to knock over. I then had to go through a pool table and miss a gentleman's foot. I had to curve around a line of people waiting to go to the bar. And once I reach the bar, I have to break through the bar, still manage to have enough power and angle to go through the pins right to get a strike. Meanwhile, the entire set has come crumbling down behind the ball. So it's visually pretty cool.
Nice to see old tournament bowled that way one time. Be pretty expensive, though. There's Jay Liebman, the Vice President of Leagues for Bullmore AMF. We thank Bullmore for all they've done. Here, the Bullmore AMF U.S. Open in Garland. Coming up next, Dom Barrett, the #4 seed. And there he is, Pete Weber. If he wins this tournament, he becomes bowling's all-time major championship leader.
Technicians needed. If you're good with your hands and looking for a great career, get started here. Universal Technical Institute. UTI gives you real-world, hands-on training.
It was just a dream for me. Within 18 months, it was a reality.
It gave me a foot in the door that most people don't have.
UTI partners with the world's top manufacturers who need our professionally trained techs working in their shops.
It's the next level of technician.
They are the best of the best. Your new career starts your first day at UTI. Call now.
Need extra cash? Shop for a personal loan at LendingTree for just about anything. You can get as much as $35,000 in as little as 24 hours. This week's rates are as low as 4.29% APR. So with absolutely no collateral and without affecting your credit, come check out your free offers in minutes. Just go to LendingTree.com and get multiple offers from top-rated lenders, all for free. Then just choose the one you want. Calculate your new payment now at LendingTree.com.
Just steady, buddy.
Steady, buddy. Never quit it.
You fired up?
Am I the only one with a meeting?
I've got to. Yeah, we gotta go. Carol, thank you so much. I gotta say it, man. This is a nice setup. Too soon. Just kidding.
Nissan Sentra, J.D. Power's highest-ranked compact car in initial quality.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Motorsports, endless possibilities between the start and finish line. 2 wheels, 4 wheels, short track, long track, no track. Cars, bikes, karts, trucks. If they ride it, we got it. Off-road, on-road, rocky road. Little jumps, big jumps, bigger jumps. America, Europe, Asia, Australia. We don't discriminate, we just accelerate. Start your engines. Wednesday night, starting at 7, only on CBS Sports Network.
I see this all the time. Homeowners searching for mortgage refinancing. But since their property values fell, they can't find a way, even though they're current on their payments. Hey guys, you need some help?
Yes.
No, we're okay. Time to try a different route called HARP. It's helping millions find lower rates and save money. Lost? Yeah. Follow me. See if you qualify at harp.gov. Your best route to a better mortgage.
And there he is, Dom Barrett, who has gone through Wes Malott and now Norm Duke. And that leads us to our Bullmore AMF moment of the match, or maybe moments of the match, Marshall, because this 10th frame was pure clutch.
Hey, man, great shot. First ball in the 10th, second ball in the 10th. Comes in a little light. That's the one that did it. And then this finishes it out. Just needs 7, 10 in the pit. And is he a cool customer or what?
No, dude, threw a 255 and could not beat Dom Barrett. Now it's time for Pete Weber and Dom Barrett, and PDW is standing by with CDB. It's all you guys.
I am. I'm standing with one of the greatest of our sport. I know, okay, maybe I'm a little biased, but he said something very interesting to me this week, and I'm not sure he's going to remember. You got done bowling the 4th round. You made the first cut, got done with the second cut, and you said to me, don't worry about anything. I'm going to turn it on tonight. And in match play, you were stellar. What are you going to do today to win this record-breaking title?
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for the kind words. And yes, when you get into the top 24, you kind of turn it on a little bit more. Now, maybe today I have to be a little more calm, a little more focused on what I need to do. Norm's a tough opponent, and it's on. I can't wait.
And, you know, I said something to Norm, too, and I think the same of you. You're a thoroughbred, not a quarter horse, so we got plenty of time, right?
2 games, all the time I need.
Best of luck. Back to you, Dave.
All right. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Carolyn. And there is Dom Barrett. So here's what's at stake for Pete Weber. First, of course, he's got to get through a guy who's on fire right now in Dom Barrett. But if he wins this, he'll pass the man that many believe is the greatest of all time, the left-hander Earl Anthony. You look at Walter Ray Williams Jr., a lot of people think he's the best bowler of all time. Norm Duke is in that category. And the glasses come on, and it's almost the persona changes with Pete Weber.
Yeah, he stops being Pete Weber and becomes PDW.
Right. Yeah, I think there are 2 people.
SOL? Can't say it on TV.
Come on. He's entertaining, and he hasn't thrown his first shot yet.
And by the way, are you buying the I'm going to be calm thing?
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Look who's talking over here.
Yeah.
Here's Barrett. In the meantime, with all this going on, this guy can't miss right now.
Well, he is locked in into a comfort zone.
Now, to be a competitor, can I borrow your towel for a second? I'm not going to wipe my ball off.
Go for it. Just let me put it on my bowl.
They're bringing me one over right now, okay? Thanks.
Awfully loose for such a big moment.
He's had a few.
Yeah. A remarkable career. 36 years on tour.
And he leaves a quiet 10. So how has his game evolved in those 36 years?
Well, he went from being a power player to really being a finesse player. He does not accelerate through the ball with his fingers as anywhere near like he used to. Plus, he's a lot more behind the ball. He used to be much more on the side of the ball. So he's made a lot of changes.
It's off to a clean start.
Great. He's always been a great spare shooter.
Thanks, Timmy. See you.
And what's his key or keys to the game?
Well, you know, he needs to get into the match, get a few strikes, start feeling comfortable. And the game goes by very quickly, so he needs to do it soon.
Well, especially the way Barrett seems to be rolling along with 9 straight strikes to finish the last game. Then he opens with 1 here.
Weber playing more hook. His ball coming in later into the pocket.
Like that.
Well, that's perfection. Pete's coming in much, much further left. Ball swinging out to about the 7 board. and then move it in dead flush. Barrett's playing the lanes from a much more direct trajectory, going pretty much up the lane around 5-6.
Interesting thing, too, for Barrett is he has defeated one fan favorite. Now he has to take on another fan favorite. Oh, he didn't like it, and he still gets it. That's how good it's going. You could hear him complain about the shot the second it left his hand.
I don't feel like he caught it at the bottom of the swing, but the pins don't know. That is a very, very friendly mixer.
Inside.
We'll take a look at it. He hates it right now. Not anymore. And that's, you know, it's important in bowling. I know going back to my career many, many years ago, you take those in-between strikes and you like to stack one on the other side of it. Two good shots and a lucky one in between.
Oh my!
Oh, there's a terrible break, but we saw a lot of that this week.
It's far away.
Half pockets, 10-pin gets bounced out. And he's watching the 10 right now to see if it gets kicked. It's gone, but wait a minute, the 7, it's still there.
Yeah, that snuck up on all of us, I think. One of the pins went right over it in the wash.
He'll go hard and straight at this pin.
And he'll cover it. So that string of strikes that started in the 4th frame of the previous game comes to an end. So let's take a look at some of our past Open winners. Wes Malott, 2013. Pete Weber, 3 times. Norm Duke in 11 and 8. And then Bill O'Neill, Mike Scroggins, Tommy Jones, Chris Barnes, who's coming off back surgery, should be practicing soon. Walter A. Williams, Mika, and Robert Smith in 2000. But the difference in, it seems like you have time to have a sandwich when you're waiting for pizza to get down there, while Doms gets down there so fast, but the result, that's all that matters.
That's right. Pete made the adjustment. He left the soft 10-pin in the first frame. Ball got a chance to hook deeper into the pocket in the 3rd frame, but he's got to be careful because that ball was only just a fraction away from being too high in the pocket and could have been disaster.
Broke up the 7-10.
That's basically the same shot he had in the first frame. Ball coming in late.
He almost wound up in the front row chasing that one out.
Yeah. Comes in a very, very steep angle. Fortunately, get out of there, 7-pin. He switches to his spare ball. And I talked with Pete earlier today, and I asked him what one of his keys for the day was, and he said filling frames. He says making good shots and filling frames. You don't want to give your opposition anything extra by making a silly mistake.
And it goes back to something we talked about at the top of the show, that in a major championship, whether it be golf, when pars are so important, or in a major championship like bowling, cut the mistakes down, make the simple spares when they're there.
Absolutely.
Move your hand.
And you can hear Dom say that someone to his right moved their hand and distracted him.
That's the second time he has taken a step back, but the last time it happened, he struck.
Yeah. One of the more underrated great players in today's game.
Tell you what, if he keeps running like that, that underrated tag is going to go away because he's going to be a major champion for the 2nd time in his career. Ryan Simonelli is awaiting the winner of this match, and he, of course, will have that left-hander's edge, as we have not had a left-hander so far today.
Right, nobody's been touching Ryan's side of the lane, so it should be pretty much as he had in practice. And
right
boy,
now,
he really had it his way all the way through qualifying and match play.
We're knotted up through 4. thanks to Dom Barrett. If you're just sitting down wondering how did Barrett get through the first 2 matches just like that. So let's take a look at Pete from frames 1 through 3.
You can see the ball going well to the right, and just ball in the left lane does strike. The ball on the right leaves that 10 pin. That's got to hurry.
Oh, it snapped.
Oh, he got the right touch on that. Look at what he's doing. He's blowing his fingers.
Yeah, being calm. Yeah, being calm.
He can't help but entertain.
Damon. Re-rack, please.
It's got to be the first order of business, getting that re-rack.
What I like about him is the command of the room.
Oh, yeah, it's his stage.
Yeah, and that charisma,
Banana.
It's almost like he puts it on before he comes out.
Well, he gets that honestly. His father, the great Dick Weber, was possibly the most charismatic bowler in the history of our sport.
And certainly one of the most important figures ever in bowling.
Strike here, even up the match. Got a
He
hole.
doesn't like it. He didn't like it.
Oh, it's.
Let it go, Pete. Gotta let it go.
What does he mean by that?
It was left off his hand. He never let it get out to the part of the lane needed to get to. It needed to be out in here. Excuse me, that wasn't quite where I was trying to get to, but it never got far enough to the right because it was always pinched.
How awkward is this to make?
Well, it's like the baby split. It's more difficult. It looks more difficult than it is, but that's going to be too full on the 3-pin.
So we will step aside, and Dom Barrett will come back with a 22-pin lead as Pete Weber makes a mistake while Dom Barrett works on his potassium levels.
Adam, cash or credit?
Credit! Credit my guy, Coach K. 5 championships in 3 different decades. Plus 2 Olympic golds, all the Final Fours, the 8...
When you don't think of them as dummies, something amazing happens. The first luxury brand awarded top safety ratings across its entire model line, Acura.
Wix makes it easy for me to create a beautiful website that showcases my passion, ideas, and my work. With Wix.com, I created a website for my business, my way. I can add my own images and drag and drop them into place, even add a video background. It's that simple. And those cool 3D effects, I added them myself. Go to Wix.com today and create your stunning website. It's easy and free.
Each day, you're forced to choose a side. Now you can have both with any Flex Brew from Hamilton Beach. Easily brew single-serve packs like K-Cup packs or ground coffee. Just place or scoop, brew, and enjoy. Choose the Flex Brew that's right for you. With a 2-way Flex Brew, you can brew a single cup or a whole pot. And customers love it. Enjoy maximum brewing flexibility and surprising affordability. Go to HamiltonBeach.com today for a limited time $5 rebate when you buy Flex Brew in-store or online. Hamilton Beach. Good thinking.
Hey, searching for a great used car? You got it. Just say, show me millions of used cars for sale at the all-new Carfax.com, where now you can search with the power of Carfax. Just say, show me cars with no accidents reported. Boom. Or how about, show me cars with only one owner? Pretty cool. Plus, we're the only site where you get a free Carfax report with every car listed. So find the cars you want, avoid the ones you don't. Start your used car search at Carfax.com.
Icy Hot Smart Relief has people talking. But more importantly, it has them moving.
Smart Relief from Icy Hot, the wireless, reusable TENS therapy. Just press a button and waves of relaxing pulses block even chronic back pain. Clinically tested to provide immediate relief for hours, even after you turn it off.
Take control of your back pain with the push of a button. It's that easy. Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
What do you think the biggest challenge is still for women in the sports industry?
I know how close you are with Brady, but do you believe that he did what he was accused of doing?
You do something like that, you're going to get caught.
You guys have a great perspective on sports.
What is the Villanova type?
You guys are on everything here.
We Need to Talk, Tuesday at 8 on CBS Sports Network.
Since the show began, one person has been constant, and that's Dom Barrett, the Englishman from Colchester. And for more on him, let's go to CDB.
Yeah, and talking with Tim Mack, the Storm rep and he's been helping Dom Barrett. One of the keys to Dom being successful today is all about making small moves. He didn't want to have to really move out of that zone because he felt like he was making good shots and could just manipulate his hand just a little bit. So what he's done is he's paralleled left very little, but he's actually trying to hit the ball a little bit more to get it to pick up and get through the pins.
Everything is, not everything, but darn near everything has worked his way here, Marshall. Thank you, Carolyn. Up 22, and Weber coming off of the open frame. And Barrett has had no trouble throwing a shot after the break.
And he's minimizing his mistakes.
Hey, Ryan.
There's that 9-pin again.
Ball traveled through the pins a little bit steep. Leaves a 9-pin. It was a good shot off his hand, and he is revving it pretty hard. You can see the ball's just going to go past the 9. It's the 9-pin in today's game is as common as the 4-pin was when I was bowling. It's just a shot that's a little bit high.
Barrett was covered. He is clean through 6. He's asked for a moment.
Be a sec, Pete.
He's going to make an adjustment to his thumb hole.
Well, the next event on the PBA Tour schedule is the Geico PBA World Series of Bowling that will start in Reno, Nevada on December 7. All the qualifying and match play action will be streamed live on PBA's Extra Frame video subscription service, and fans can check out PBA.com for complete event and TV schedule information. And if you're a bowling fan, you've got to sign up for Extra Frame. And at one point in this event, they had 2 channels working.
Really?
Yes. You had Extra Frame and Extra Frame 2. So that'll be a ton of fun.
I'll be there.
That makes it even more fun.
Working Extra Frame.
Fabulous. You'll have a great time.
That's always a good time.
And Reno loves its bowling. Well, whatever that adjustment was, it was a good one.
And I thought that ball was a little bit left off his hand, but it held the pocket very, very nicely. Maybe he just pinched in and made another little adjustment to the left.
Well, he was working on his thumb, kind of painting it with some new skin earlier today.
You could see that ball just did not get as far to the right as the previous shot on that left-hand lane.
Snap back, and it does 10 straight back for PDW.
That one he let go.
He was still complaining about that shot during the break.
Another re-rack, please.
We'll take a look at the classic form of Pete Weber. High backswing, powerful position, but soft through the delivery. It's not a violent release. It's more of a soft release. Lets the ball pick up the roll. And he needs to do more of that to get back into this match.
He is down 21, as you see. He is trying to become an 11-time major champion, and that has never happened in the sport. He is tied with Earl Anthony at 10.
Last 2 times in this lane, high. The previous one was light. He needs something in between.
Bam.
He lets his presence be known. Again. Good looking shot from Pete Weber. Comes right solid in the pocket. Then you can see from this view he likes it. And then he slams his fist. You know, Pete, I did that once and I broke my finger, so please be careful.
Well, that's all adrenaline right now. He'll feel that later.
Another big shot for Dom Barrett. Can he come through once again in the clutch?
Come on, 9-pin. No, sir. Again.
That didn't look high flush, but it just enough to go past the 9.
Picked up and went left.
Just,
Just make the spare.
Too strong. Yeah. That's all you can do, as you heard Dom Barrett say, make the spare. But that shines a new light on this game.
Weber off of the open has doubled. And Barrett is clean. And we anticipate him making this. And he does. But this thing is FFO, far from over with 2 frames remaining.
That's close.
You can see the maximum game for Barrett, 238, and maximum game for Weber, 237.
Come on, one more shot on this line.
Yeah, how about that? And you know what? I'm not ruling that one out. A 238, 237 finish. It was 259, 255 in match number 2 with Barrett defeating Norm Duke.
Come on.
Defeated Wes Malott earlier. And that was a close match. That's just beautiful. Foundation shot in the 9th.
Well, he's a fine bowler. Just really making great shots. Got the bad break with the 9-pin, but as I said earlier, that 9-pin is just it's today's version of what used to be the 4-pin, and it's frustrating for the bowlers. But you know, the power of their release, the power of the bowling balls, it's a give and take thing. You know, you get something, but you have to give something up to get it.
5-time U.S. Open champion, Pete Weber.
To get to 1 pin.
Oh, a second time for just a second. The 710 was there.
Well, we'll watch the 6-pin. That's the second from the right. It's just going to lay in the channel. It's not going to come back out, and it's that ball. And that's Tracy Weber. She knows how important that shot was.
All right, Marshall, take us through here. What has to happen in this 10th frame?
I thought I threw that ball
216 now, max for Pete.
Well, Weber's got to strike out and then hope for help from Barrett, because Barrett can go spare strike for 218. Weber right now working at a 206 pace. Weber has a smaller margin of error. That's why he's trailing right now.
And there's, you just mentioned the 4-pin, and there it is.
All right, you're done now.
He's saying that, and I would have said the same thing. You can see the 4-pin, it's going to stand. It almost gets tripped out, but not. He says he's done, but he's not completely done. I think what he's trying to do is get in the head a little bit of Dom Barrett and make him relax a little bit. But Barrett knows he needs to make a quality shot in the 10th frame and get a mark.
Everybody else.
Oh, look out there. Kind of gave that one away a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he's lost the concentration. Gets 5. He ends up with a 200. That makes Barrett's job a lot easier.
Reset the left lane, please.
Pretty much has to show up.
Yeah.
Good job. Nice.
And he's this close to 3 straight wins and a chance at his second major in his first U.S. Open title here.
All he needs is 7 pins on his first ball.
Third time today he has had a shot where he's needed 7 in the 10th frame. And for the second time he throws the ace ball and he's got it. So Dom Barrett quietly, professionally has gone about his business, and he has reached the Bowlmore AMF U.S. Open Championship match, defeating the defending champion and defeating back-to-back legends of the sport. And now he takes on the left-hander, Ryan Simonelli. That is next.
Before you open your eyes, at Smithfield, we're busy slow smoking. Before you sizzle, we hand select and hand trim. before you were born. We gave birth to flavor, which you'll find in every bite of our naturally delicious hickory smoked bacon. Flavor hails from Smithfield.
Where do you spend the most time sitting? Your couch? Your car? What about your office? All that time spent in a chair has made sitting the new smoking. Because your body was built for more than sitting. It was built to move. And Veridesk was built to help get you moving by letting you work sitting or standing as much as you need to throughout your workday. Veridesk arrives fully assembled.
I was actually quite surprised how easy it was to set up.
All you have to do is pull it out of the box.
Put it on top of the desk and it was ready to go.
Veridesk instantly converts your current desk into a height-adjustable standing desk, effortlessly raises and lowers, and transforms your workspace into a healthier, more productive environment.
The Veridesk raises very easily.
It really just slides and locks into place.
You can go between sitting and standing within a matter of seconds.
By simply standing at your Veridesk a few times throughout the day, you can create a more active office, burn more calories, engage muscles that strengthen your back and your core, and improve your circulation.
Standing throughout the day gives me more energy.
I do feel more active because of the Veridesk.
With Veridesk, you don't have to stop sitting. You're just free to stand and move when you want to.
When I'm able to sit and stand throughout the day, I do feel more alert.
I seem to be a lot more active and moving around, getting more steps in.
Go to Veridesk.com to find the Veridesk size and model that's right for your office space. Veridesk costs far less than other standing solutions. It's always in stock and usually ships within 24 hours.
Since receiving my Veridesk is transforming the way I do my job, and that makes me very happy.
And because making the move from sitting to standing can seem like a big change, Veridesk offers a truly no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. They'll even cover shipping if returned with original packaging, so you can be sure you're making the right move for you. Get moving today. Just go to Veridesk.com. That's V-A-R-I Desk. Veridesk. Work elevated.
Technicians needed. The transportation industry is growing. If you're good with your hands and want to work on the world's best brands, your training starts here at Universal Technical Institute.
We only hire UTI graduates. That is our preferred method of hiring.
In fact, 4 out of 5 UTI grads get jobs.
I like my job because I love the new technology and learning every single day on the job with all the master technicians.
Your new career starts your first day at UTI. Are you ready? Call now.
Dom Barrett is your winner 3 times over. Now he's in the championship match against the left-hander and the top seed, Ryan Simonelli. Simonelli, we asked him earlier what his secret to success this week in getting to that top seed of the stepladder has been.
The left side was tricky this week, but my trick really worked well in that I can keep my angles shut with still high power, and I throw it hard to create a little bit of hold, and I throw a lot of ball, and my rev rate helps keep the left in play as well. So I have a little bit miss left and a little bit of miss right, and I just took advantage of that, and I just don't think the other lefties were seeing that like I did.
There are no other lefties. As a matter of fact, there are no other bowlers now. There's just down to 2, Simonelli and Barrett. This will be the 5th time he's been in a major on television. His best career major finish 2nd in 2012, and he has 3 championships. He can break through, but he's got to take on a red-hot Dom Barrett when we come back for the Bullmore AMF US Open title.
Checking out the listing on Zillow I sent you?
Yeah, I like it.
This place has a great backyard.
I can't believe we're finally doing this.
All of this.
Stacy, Benjamin, this is Daniela.
You're not just looking for a house. You're looking for a place for your life to happen.
Zillow.
I'm really into this car, but how do I know if I'm getting a good deal? TrueCar knows exactly how much people have been paying for the car I want. I tell TrueCar my zip and what car I'm into, and it shows me the TrueCar curve. This shows the range of prices people in my area actually paid for the same car. Looks like these folks paid a little more than everyone else. And this guy got the deal of a lifetime. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is TrueCar.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
$275 players started this event in Garland, Texas. 2 remain for that championship and $50,000. The top seed, Ryan Simonelli, and the number 4 seed, Dom Barrett. You see Barrett climbing up the step ladder. Wes Malott, the defending champion. Norm Duke, 7-time major winner. Pete Weber, still a 10-time major winner. And now Ryan Simonelli looking for his first major championship. Barrett has 1. Here's Tom Martino, the president of the BPAA. We want to thank the BPAA, USBC, Bowmore, AMF, and everybody here at Garland, and all of you for watching today. Now we have a new factor, a left-hander. We have not had one yet in this match. Marshall Holman. And Ryan Simonelli out of Cheektowaga, New York, otherwise known as Liz Johnson's hometown, the way she's bowled this year.
Just outside of Buffalo.
Yep. Something about that area has produced some tremendous professional bowlers.
Yeah. Thanks for that. You got it.
A little chat fest here going on.
I think they're buddies. Or as Don would say, mates.
Could you be friends on the lanes? I mean, when it's time, now we're locked in. Now the match is going to start.
Not me. Not at this part. Maybe, 5 minutes before, but it's game face time right now.
And that face that you see from Barrett has been that face for 3 matches. He has stayed at a remarkably even level. When you're rolling it that good, why would you have any other face?
He's pinched himself in just a little bit further left on that lane. And that was our first look at Ryan Simonelli. And I was talking with some of the people who have been watching him bowl all week, and they said that he has not had a lot of great first games of blocks. So this is like his first game to block. He needs to get out quick.
He's not going to get a second one. Maybe he doesn't need it. Now, he has been rolling along, pardon the expression. After 8 games, he qualified 6th, 16 first, 24 second, 32 third, and then went 19-5 in match play to end up the #1 seed.
Yeah, he really dominated, and he did it using that outside trajectory, high rev rate, and a lot of ball speed. Once again, that key to his victory is to maintain that ball speed. It gives him the opportunity to throw the ball a little bit to the right, and it holds pocket. Big shot, second frame.
7 pins just going to stand there.
Didn't quite tip back up to the pocket. Starts out well to the left. Tries to make its move. Just not quite. Switches to a harder ball. He has sometimes in the past had problems with some spares. Not that one.
Nope, perfectly done. Stays clean early. Let's talk about the mentality. If those who might have missed it earlier, 2-time U.S. Open champion Marshall Holman won in '81 from the middle of the step ladder, and then in '85 you won as the #1 seed. So how did you approach it when you were the #1 seed?
Well, just trying to, it's pretty simple. You just try and make the best shots you possibly can, and you have no control over what your opposition is going to do. So for Simonelli, that's what he's doing.
Oh, now we haven't seen that yet. We've seen the stiff 4s and a stiff 9. Now we have them both.
Ball broke a little bit steep into the pocket. Going down around the 7 board, needs to stop, and it just continues through the pocket, leaves the 4-9. It's a makeable split. Need to be left of the 4-pin. Scooted into the 9.
Going forward and missing it, and leaving the door open early for Simonelli.
And also loses an extra pin and count. He was on a strike. He would have gotten 2 of them. He'd have 28 in the second. He now has a 14-pin deficit, but he has come back from adversity early, the early adversity in games a couple of times today.
Well, in game 1, he had an open frame in the second frame, and then threw up 6 straight strikes, and ended up advancing over Wes Millat.
That is true. And he opened in the first frame of the second game.
And he's done it again. His bounce back ability today might be the real key, because he's had to go toe-to-toe with Norm Duke in a high-scoring match. He's had to make big shots in the 10th. He's had to make big shots in the 3rd.
We talked about other players, keeping an even keel through their matches, and right now, Dom has really done an amazing job not getting too high or too low. But here's Simonelli on the right lane, looking for a second strike of the match.
No trouble. 10 ripped back. Take a look at his footwork here.
Well, look how close he is to the ball return. He actually has to step to the right. Now he's going to step back to the left to walk around it to be able to play that extreme angle. That takes some good coordination.
And faith in yourself that you're going to do it correctly.
Yeah. Came in a little bit light on lane 51, second frame. Ball down a little earlier.
Oof, boy, that 7-pin took a beating.
And I watched the bowl all day yesterday, and I saw a lot of that. We'll take a look at this shot. 10 in the pit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you're wondering why Ryan Simonelli was the top seed, you can wonder no longer.
Yeah, he led this tournament in dominating fashion. No pun meant towards Dom Barrett.
Oh, hey, that was good.
Got to hurry. Oh my gosh, look at that ball tip up there. I didn't think that ball was going to get back.
Every time he has needed a big shot, it seems like Dom Barrett has been able to come up with one.
We'll take a look at this shot. It's going to go quite wide. And then bang, almost too much into the pocket.
Come on now.
Well, I tell you, for people who are I haven't seen much of Dom Barrett. I mean, his respect quotient is going up, 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 and up.
He is a 3-time PBA Tour champion, Scorpion Open in Vegas, and he's won twice in Qatar, pardon me. And he does have the major, the PBA World Championship and World Series of Bowling in Vegas. Simonelli looking for his first major.
Now that ball did not get back up to pocket, leaving the 3-pin and leaving Simonelli kind of scratching his head, wondering what exactly did happen on that shot. I just don't think he caught it at the bottom of the swing. It looks good, but it just never makes the move. Huh.
He looks about as puzzled as you were there for a second.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned earlier, these guys know when they make a good shot as soon as it goes off their hand. Host Adam Shine brings his unmatched enthusiasm to a whole new level on his nightly show full of strong opinions and high energy. Time to Shine, Tuesday through Friday at 6 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Closest Simonelli has come is a second place at the PBA's Tournament of Champions. Sean Rashby. Closest he's come to a major, and there he gets a big break. His best finish at a U.S. Open is 24th. Well, he'll beat that, and he might even carry the trophy home with him back to Cheektowaga.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Are we watching the game?
You'll see.
I think my boys have a shot this year.
Yeah, especially with this new offense we're running. I mean, our running back is a beast. Once he hits the hole and breaks through the secondary, oh, he's gone. And our linebackers and DBs dish out punishment and never quit. You didn't expect this, did you?
I didn't.
The Nissan Altima. There's a fun side to every drive. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Avocados from Mexico.
Babbel is the smart new way to learn a language on your computer or mobile device. It's easy to use, effective, and it's fun. With Babbel, learn a language at your own pace and track your progress with simulated real-life conversations, vocabulary trainers, and hundreds of intuitive online lessons. Download the app or go to Babbel.com right now and try it for free. Learn languages. Babbel.
Looking sharp, Len. Who's the lucky lady?
I'm going to the bank to discuss a mortgage.
See, you need a loan, you put on a suit, you go crawling to the bank. This is how I dress to get a mortgage. I just go to LendingTree. I calculate how much home I can afford. I get multiple offers to compare side by side. And the best part is, the banks come crawling to me.
Everything you need to get a better mortgage. Clothing optional. LendingTree, the place to shop for money.
Okay.
Awkward.
Let's say your team is traveling, or your client's in another state, and you need to connect face-to-face. Now's the time for GoToMeeting. Join a session from any device. One click is all it takes. Share your screen, demo a product, give a presentation. GoToMeeting with HD Faces. It's a great way to build relationships, ensure everyone's on the same page, get buy-in, and turn business ideas into actions faster. Try GoToMeeting free for 30 days at gotomeeting.com now.
There's the situation for the championship of the Bowmore AMF U.S. Open. And we caught up. There's some audio with Ryan Simonelli during the break, talking it over with his ball reps.
The left lane, yeah, getting fine now, right? Yeah, actually the left lane's the better lane now. The right lane, it's just starting to clip a little bit, I think. I'm just trying to keep my angle shut a little bit extra on that. I thought it was going to be the better lane anyway, so it stands out. For a different reason.
In talking with Chuck Gardner earlier about Ryan, one of the keys to success this week was he used a lot of surface. He's got 500 on the bowling ball. He actually drilled new balls before 2 of the blocks to make sure he had a fresh cover, strong bowling balls, strong layout, and he was originally playing the right lane a little bit tighter, but seems to think that it might be hooking up just a little bit earlier after these few frames.
Thank you, Carolyn. And you saved Marshall and I from a fine from the FCC, because I think if we had called that shot live, we both might have used some unfriendly language.
Well, that was the worst break of the match. That was, I mean, the ball did travel past the 9-pin, but it was just spectacularly thrown.
We're going to show this to you on replay, but some of you might want to avert your eyes.
Well, he absolutely loves it off his hand. He really gets through this ball strong.
Okay.
He loves it right now, and it just looks perfect. It just, no respect, just right through the pins, solid 9. And we saw a lot of them during qualifying and match play. Again, back-to-back solid 9s.
Great shot.
And you're right. It certainly looked like a great shot. He knows it. Everybody in the building knows it.
Yeah. Well, we just saw this. The previous shot on 52 and just ditto.
He's had a couple of those. He had them in the game against Pete Weber, too. 2 of them. He won that one. And very calmly, that's the right thing. The only thing you can do is deal with what's in front of you, and that is legitimately a head scratcher.
Yeah, he threw both those shots exactly the way he wanted to, and was given no payback.
To me, I couldn't see any difference from those 2 shots than any of the strikes he's thrown, or most of the strikes he's thrown that have been perfect. But now Simonelli with a tiny lead looking to expand.
Had trouble on this lane. Not there.
Oof. Perfect. Now the lead's 15.
To me, it looks like he got a little softer through the zone. Gave his ball a chance to bank back off that edge and perfectly into the pocket. And I know that he wants to get excited, but not yet. It's still not, it's not time.
Solid 7-pin. Yeah, a little bit of hope there for Dom Barrett.
We'll take a look at the ball going into the pocket, and the 4-pin just wraps around the 7 quickly. All you can do is pick up a spare ball and make a quality spare.
And he did. And he followed that one, though. He wanted to make doubly sure.
That didn't come off his hand exactly as he had planned, but with this, using the spare ball, it gives you a little bit more room.
This is unusual for Dom Barrett not to be bowling off a strike or several strikes. 2 times today he has strung 6 in a row. In fact, one time 9 in a row.
Well, the 3 shots he hasn't struck on in this game were the 4-9 in the second frame and then solid 9 in the previous 2 frames. So he's really made a lot of good quality shots.
All right.
Taking extra time.
Barrett has defeated the defending champion, Wes Malott, Norm Duke on a 259-255 slugfest, and then defeated Pete Weber 218-200. So he's dispatched 2 Hall of Famers, and now a rising star in Ryan Simonelli. The 2 are very similar in age. 30 for Barrett, 29 for Simonelli.
Another 9-pin?
No,
that was actually that actually finished higher through the pocket than the 2 9-pins, but with a better result. Watch this ball. This ball is going to be further left. The ball will not take out the 9-pin. It's way past it, but something takes it out. It happened too fast for me to tell.
All right. One last time in this thing.
One last time on this lane.
Huge, huge shot. Can cut the lead down to 4.
And there's no 9-pin there. It's gone.
That was perfection. I think Simonelli's going, why'd you have to do that, bro?
Well, if Ryan has been watching, and I'm sure he's taken some sneak peeks while he's been warming up, he should know why, because Barrett has been that good all day. And so is Simonelli in this match, and you said it best. He's been a slow starter in first game blocks, but this is it. This is his block.
Yeah. Take a look at this ball. This ball a little bit faster. Doesn't quite get all the way up the pocket, but scatters them around powerfully. Those pins got down quick and fast and done.
Simonelli double and 7, and he has the Baltimore AMF US Open on his resume, his first major championship.
Now Barrett could do no better than 234. Simonelli can take it out the sheet for 238.
Now, this is the first time that Barrett has been in this position. He has been the one locking down matches. Now he has to sit and wonder what Ryan Simonelli is going to do.
This has been Simonelli's good lane. He's left a couple 7-pins on it, but everything's been flush.
Like that. That's 1.
If he gets this next one, then he can put on a little mini celebration. We'll take a look at the great release of Ryan Simonelli. That was a no-doubter there.
Does he have another one in him? Might have been his best shot of the day right there when he needed it most. Barrett knows it. He can respect what he just saw there. Now 7 to win and be a major champion.
And a great shot from Simonelli and no emotion whatsoever. Just needs 7 pins, but he's taken nothing for granted. That's smart. Look at how calm he is.
Well, for the record, he's had either strikes or 9s. So odds are very much in his favor to lock this down.
He hasn't come close to missing on this lane.
Not his best shot, but it doesn't matter because Ryan Simonelli is a champion.
Now the emotion comes out.
For the first time in his promising career, Ryan Simonelli is a major champion, defeating Don Barrett to win the Baltimore AMF US Open. What a performance all week from the left-hander, and he caps it off with a title.
For competitors of all ages, bowling is for life. And USBC is with you every step of the way. USBC and you, a future for the sport.
Technicians needed. If you're good with your hands and looking for a great career, get started here. Universal Technical Institute. UTI gives you real-world, hands-on training.
It was just a dream for me. Within 18 months, it was a reality.
It gave me a foot in the door that most people don't have.
UTI partners with the world's top manufacturers who need our professionally trained techs working in their shops.
It's the next level of technician.
They are the best of the best.
Your new career starts your first day at UTI. Call now.
When you don't think of them as dummies, something amazing happens. The first luxury brand awarded top safety ratings across its entire model line, Acura.
Our veterans need you.
There are more than 8 million enrollees in healthcare at the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Veterans from previous generations
and veterans from today's wars.
Challenging medical conditions.
And more women returning than ever before.
Or redefining how care is provided.
Serve those who served our nation.
Bring your medical and healthcare skills to VA. America's heroes need you. Visit vacareers.va.gov.
The chase for the Pro 2 championship is far from over. Bryce Menzies clinched his 6th win of the season, but Rob McCachran's streak of 5 podiums has him leading the standings by 27 points. The drivers of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series have arrived at the fastest track on the circuit, and the slightest mistake could be season-ending.
Big run, and they have contact, a huge wreck!
Catch round 14 tonight on CBS Sports Network.